Hello, everybody, and good morning. And today is day 52. It's an exciting day because today is the last day of school. So it's my last message like this. But it's not the last time that we'll talk to each other. It's not the last time that we'll see each other. You can always talk to me. You can always write me. You know where I am. And I'll see your faces again. We'll pass each other. You'll come to my doorstep. I know it's true. When the world is healthy and the summer is over, we'll have adventures to share with each other. My students always come back to me, so I know you will too. And you'll grow up and you'll do amazing things and you'll tell me, Mrs. Barber, I'm a doctor now, I'm a scientist. Mrs. Barber, I'm a mom. Mrs. Barber, look at all these things that I did and all these awards I got. And you'll remember the fun times that we had together. That's a special thing about being in our classes. Children remember the happy things. They don't remember all the math lessons, but they do remember being in the garden show, the friendships that they made, the ways that they played, because that's what childhood is about. That's what's important. So in these 52 days, we have shared one of the biggest adventures of my life, trying to learn while we're not in the same room. And I've read a lot of poems. I've read more than 52 books to you, because I've read to you in class as well. I have shown you a lot of different experiments. I learned how to do things I never knew before, and I challenged my brain, and you challenged yours, and you've shown me your gardens, and today you showed me that you could play the piano and the flute and the drums, and we had a grand music class. We've had 2 authors visit us, 2 musicians visit us, a lady who knew all about quilting, and we've had 2 parent parties since we've been apart. We have tried to have a grand adventure, and I'm so proud of you. And I know I say that a lot, but I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of the spirit that you've met this hard time with, and the cheer you've given me every day. So the first day that I did this at-home adventure with you, very first time, I just felt like I had to bring a little bit of room 8 to you at your house. And what could I do but find a book that I love, a poem, an activity, and give you a little message. And that started this routine right away. And this is the last day, and I'm just going to end with a story by the same author that I read on the very first day, Matthew's Dream by Leo Leone. And I want you to think about what your dreams are for your future. And you know what is great about dreams? They can change. The important thing is to keep having them. Keep having plans for your future. Matthew's Dream. And this work is done, I think, with gouache paint and a collage. I really love his art very, very much. A couple of mice lived in a dusty attic with their only child. His name was Matthew. In one corner of the attic, draped with cobwebs, were piles of newspapers, books, and magazines, an old broken lamp, and the sad remains of a doll. That was Matthew's corner. The mice were very poor, but they had high hopes for Matthew. He would grow up to be a doctor, perhaps. Then they would have Parmesan cheese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But when they asked Matthew what he wanted to be, he said, "I don't know. I want to see the world." One day, Matthew and his classmates were taken to the museum. It was the first time. They were amazed at what they saw. There was a huge portrait of the King Mouse IV, dressed like a general. And next to it was a picture of cheese that made Matthew drool. There were winged mice that floated through the air, and mice with horns and bushy tails, and mountains and rushing streams and branches bowing in the wind. The world is all here, thought Matthew. Entranced, Matthew wandered from room to room, gazing at the paintings. There were some that he didn't understand at first. One looked like crusts of pastry, but when he looked more carefully, a mouse emerged. Then, turning a corner, Matthew found himself face to face with another little mouse. She smiled at him and, "I I am Nicoletta, she said. Aren't these paintings wonderful? That night, Matthew had a strange dream. He dreamed that he and Nicoletta were walking hand in hand in an immense, fantastic painting. As they walked, playful patches of color shifted under their feet, and all around them suns and moons moved gently to the sound of distant music. Matthew had never been so happy. He embraced Nicoletta. Let's stay here forever. Matthew woke with a start. He was alone. Nicoletta had faded with his dream. The gray dreariness of his attic corner appeared to him in all its bleak misery. Tears came to his eyes. But then, as if by magic, what Matthew saw began to change. The shapes hugged each other, and the pale colors of the messy junk heap brightened. Even the crumpled newspapers now looked soft and smooth, and from afar Matthew thought he heard the notes of a familiar music. He ran to his parents' corner. I know, he said. Now I know. I want to be a painter. Matthew became a painter. He worked hard and painted large canvases filled with the shapes and colors of joy. Then he married Nicoletta. In time, he became famous, and mice from all over the world came to see and buy his paintings. His largest painting now hangs in the museum. When asked about the title, Matthew smiles. The title, he says, as if he'd never thought about it before. My dream. I love this book. I give it a 10 out of 10. And I love a lot of things about this book. The artwork is beautiful. The words are beautiful. It's meaningful. When I was a little girl, my grandfather would bring me to museums in New York City. It was our special thing we did together. And he would open my eyes to the things in front of me, the pieces of work that I saw. And this year, I shared with you those 12 artists when we made our special present in December, the calendar of Picasso, Monet, Degas, and all the beautiful pieces that you made that I hope you keep forever. When you look at the world through the eyes that look at art, that look at what you see beyond your face in a very different way, you make your brain grow. Did you know that? You are growing your brain when you're using your imagination and thinking. So don't lose that as you get older. That ability to see things in a different way, to use your imagination, make up your own mind. I have lots of dreams for you to grow up and be happy and healthy and wise and a little bit silly, because that's important. And I love you very much. I don't want to get sad on this last video, so I'm going to end it here because there's no sadness. It's an exciting start to a summer. I love you. Thank you for following me on this adventure, and I will see you very, very soon.